People, deluded, I'm back again. Let me make myself a tiny bit lighter. Obviously, I'm a chocolate darling and that. But what was I going to say? Arsenal have just drawn against Brighton. Now, this is really just a quick point I wanted to make. Now, I don't know what our midfield was doing. Now, if I make it a bit easier for you and I remove our strikers, I don't know what our midfield was, people. Because for me, I watched the game again, but watching it live, I could not make out our shape. It looked like we had Torreira here, Ozil here. Not Torreira, sorry. You had Xhaka here, Ozil here, and then you had Torreira and Mkhitaryan on either side. Then it looked like Mkhitaryan was peeling to the left and my man was going there. Then it looked like Ozil was going out there. Then it looked like a two, and like a two of sorts. And then when you factor in our strikers, people, like a 2-2-2 thing, sort of business. Do you get it, people? I really didn't have a clue what we was trying to do in that regards, man. It was easy to pick a point this side, man. Like I just couldn't get it, man. I just really couldn't get it. Then it looked at times we was doing that. Like I really didn't get it. Then obviously our strikers are peeling off, and then other people are doing certain things. I really didn't get it today, people, man. I felt it was poor, man. I felt a big point as to why we lost this game as well. If we make it back to a back four, I don't feel it was any fault of his own, essentially. I feel Lichtsteiner was getting killed out there in the second half, people. He was just getting doubled against. If we remove these out of defence, I just feel midfielders, they're not following men and helping their team enough. I don't feel the pivot helped each other enough in that game for me, people. Really upset. Apologies for dropping that. What other point was I going to make? I had another point. And you're going to have to bear with me. Oh, you're going to have to bear with me for a decent period of time for me to set it up. But I'm a bit of a spoiler alert. I've made a video using this already, and I don't think it's the best, but it kind of capitalizes on what I'm talking about. I'll make this the opposition to make it a bit pleasing, because I believe if I was... Apologies if you can't see all the screen, people. But here we go. Apologies. Just if I was watching this, I'd want to see the opposition this way. But this is one thing that kind of harms us as a football team. And like I said, I've spoken about it in a vid. You've seen it yourselves. Back 5-4, including the keeper, obviously. This is what harms us as a football club, people. If we put 3 midfielders, and then what? Yeah, we'll focus on that. There's 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and then this. Now, most teams, let's just say they got 3 attackers, yeah? They got 3 attackers. Obviously, you can see a 4-3-3 of sorts, people, yeah? Make it a flat midfield, make it a bit easier for you lot to see. Most teams, they're gonna come like this to the Emirates or anywhere, any top 6 club in it, people. You're more likely to probably see something along the lines of that strike. The wingers will tuck in a bit, just to remain compact, keep team shape, and that's sensible, isn't it? You keep team shape, you soak up the pressure, and you move there. As much as people get onto Arsenal, we've got Lacazette and Aubameyang. God knows collectively how many goals they've scored. People will draw out Manchester United. Their attacking options collectively. City and Liverpool, I don't need to be here. Spurs obviously got Son and Kane, obviously he's injured, but players like that. So most teams, because the top 6 typically have better players and more technical based players and better goal scoring threats, you want to hold your shape. The problem with Arsenal, and it's easier said than done, admittedly, people, we make it easier. No disrespect to our home atmosphere, but when the home atmosphere is not the most partisan and the most nervous, as an opposition player, that gives you confidence. Because you got to look at it like this. Alright, I won't do one striker. We'll do Aubameyang and Lacazette, yeah? The man in possession, there's you know what, I'll just leave the midfielders, because we don't even need the opposition strikers. I feel it just complicates everything for you lot. Just focus on the midfield and the defence, primarily, people, yeah? That's Mesut Ozil, that can be Xhaka. You know, it could be any midfielder you want, people. It could be any, you don't have to be that. Like, whatever starting lineup you want. And let's say what? You got Mesut Ozil, you got Ozil, you got Aubameyang, you got Lacazette, you've got our wing backs. Let's exaggerate it a bit. You've got our wing backs, you've got our keeper, you've got our defenders. Do you know what? Let's make it a bit pleasing. I haven't used the yellow ones. Let them make their debuts. We've got the defenders. Now, I'm using one half, people. If we just use our brains, imagine this is the halfway line. Typically, this is Arsenal shape. I lie, people. Teams are the Blues are gonna stay rigid, stay compact, soak up pressure, hit us on the counter, etc. It's our job to break them down, people. Right? It's our job, yeah. This is the ball. This is the ball. We're too easy. I feel at times it's too many of these passes. It's too many of these sideways passes. There might be a 2-2-1-2 or something, but 9 times out of 10, if this is the ball, it's backwards. It's backwards. It's side to side. And I don't know the issue. I have an issue with that, but I think that's a byproduct of because we can't break sides down. We're too patient. Win, lose or draw, we're patient. Don't get me wrong. We play some good moves. We've put together some good moves in that game, even though we drew. I keep saying lost. And this season collectively, even though us Arsenal fans were a long way away from when we definitely had the best football in the world, let alone excluding Barcelona, let alone the league. But it's too many of these passes. And I don't know whether that's the shape, but it's too many of the backwards passes. And it's a byproduct, people. I say a byproduct because there's not really interchanging movement for the man in front of the ball or in possession. If we remove some of these lines, apologies, people, I'm just rush scribbling it out, yeah? If the defenders, if Leno's got the ball and he bucks it to my man, there's not really any movement. It's flat passes. He's going to pass it to him and the ball's going to come back. Or there might be a 2-2 there. The ball's going to come back. Kohler's going to go wide. The ball might eventually come here sometimes. Let's move it. Might come here sometimes. And he's either going to pull it in or it's going to come back. And teams are sussed us out. I do see movement from our front men. So I'm not going to say there's not movement. They've got elite movement. I don't feel they're hit all the time. But just to make the example a bit better, sometimes people have to move off the ball for the sake of movement. If it's Leno, centre-halves, just split a bit. Fullbacks go high just to create a bit of space for you to come into. Then he can drop for the ball. Then one of the strikers can drop and show for the ball, creating a diversion here, people. You see how I've already made space. He's actually offside in this, but just from being offside, you're out of play. But just to put him back in, you can see areas and gaps available now, people, developing all over the field. He might just make a run because he'll come out with him just for that. Interchanging movement so that we can break teams down eventually via whatever pass I've just scribbled on here, people. Too often it's backwards. And if you're Brighton, you're laughing because you've got yourselves back in the game. It's 1-1. You got nothing to play for really because they're safe. You can get a point and whatnot, and they owe it to the fans, and it's a game of football. But it's the Arsenal fans that are going to be nervy, that are going to be forcing the team. And you know, as much as the fans are trying to urge their team forward because of them, the top four, and Arsenal expecting to win a game like this, no disrespect, that plays into your hands because with every pass, it's going to be over hit cross. It's going to be backwards pass. With every backwards pass, more nerves from the fans. Pass in the butt. Balls are going to get over hit. And as a Brighton player, you know, you just sit. Tell your midfielders, sit. Tell your striker, come drop your strikers, come and drop deep. Come and win some dumb fouls. Come and waste time. Come and chase the ball into dead ends. You get it, people? We let ourselves down, and again, I'm a mess dropping all of these things. We've let ourselves down again today, people, realistically. If there was any glimmer of top four hope. Well, it is what it is. I wasn't even planning on showing this vid, people. You know the one there, I wasn't even planning on this, but it's a point I would really, really like to make, or a couple of points I really like to have made. Movement, defensive positioning defensively, and just in general in this team has to improve if we're gonna get anywhere. But it is what it is at this moment in time. On that note, I'm gonna get out of here, people. Deluded, stay safe. I'm out.